Hi, Ahmari. I wanted to put together a brief video kind of explaining some of what this process looks like. This is going to be very short, very condensed, not going through all of what could be involved in helping you get different sales funnels set up to bring you more customers online as well as in person. But since you answered that online is a big part of it, and I knew that from talking to people in the past, that the online sales has really exploded over the past several years for most car dealerships. So in any case, I want to show you some of what's involved in terms of the whole process. And so when I use several different software programs that are very expensive, very sophisticated. This is a more basic one that I often use when I'm first starting to talk with somebody, because digital marketing, SEO, search engine optimization, search engine marketing, social media marketing, everything that I listed, email marketing, video marketing, which is another thing I'm going to want to talk to you about. Because there's some things we can do with video. I don't know if you have any video, but if at all possible, I'd love to be able to have you create some video. Again, we can talk more about that. But just looking at this, every single month, these are the exact phrases, the exact words and phrases people are typing into Google every single month in the United States. And again, I can narrow this down if you want to target more geographically where you're at with, you said Scottsdale, Phoenix, greater Phoenix area. We can do that as well for different sales funnels. But just overall, I want you to get a feel for this, for how many people are actually looking for cars for sale every single month. So, buy a car, 60,500 on average per month, over 800,000 for cars for sale. Car dealerships near me. There's almost 500 keywords, and again, some of these are going to be more directly related than others. And again, part of the process that I have to go through is determining, which ones of these are going to be the most effective for you, especially starting out, because what most people do in digital marketing SEO is they just grab some of the higher volume ones and say, yeah, these are the good ones you should go for. And again, 99.9% of the people that you talk to, whether they're very large SEO digital marketing agencies or individuals, are going to do a shortcut on this. And because this is the foundation of everything that you do online, you have to have a really good feel for not only what are these key phrases people are typing in every single month, but how competitive are they? On average, how much are people paying cost per click in Google AdWords? And again, this is just Google in the United States. This doesn't include Bing or Yahoo or any of the other search engines, which is just more search volume. But again, Google by far is the biggest, and Bing and Yahoo, Ask, all the other search engines really piggyback off of what Google does. So again, this list just goes on and on and on. I'm not going to go through the entire thing of all the 500 keywords, but what I want to do is I just want to show you this. Let's grab one. Again, I don't know if you do both new and used cars. That was another question I had for you, but let's just say cars for sale. Okay, again, I'm not at all saying these specific ones are keyword you should go after, because it takes me a lot of time in the beginning. There are no shortcuts. Again, I use all the biggest, most sophisticated, most expensive software that the largest SEO digital marketing agencies use. And I'm just telling you that you can take shortcuts, again, which most people do. But if you do, you're just shooting yourself in the foot, because you're not going to get the results that you need if you don't do this properly. So I'll show you what comes up here. When I click on that cars for sale, what's going to show me is the first 10 positions in Google. This is not paid advertisements. I'll talk about paid advertisements in a minute on Google. And again, I know you're looking at Facebook marketing, but again, Facebook piggybacks off of Google in a lot of ways when it comes to search volume and marketing, because you have to know what people are searching for every single month. Again, no matter what the platform is, if it's social media, if it's Google, any of the search engines, anything else that you're doing online, you need to know what the search volumes are. So this shows me, just again, this is more basic. It's a moderately competitive. It's not red up here overall, but again, these first 3 positions are red because they have very strong metrics. I can see what these companies are doing with their social media, and again, a lot of it that shows up is going to be more Facebook oriented. But again, I don't expect you to know these metrics, but these are not all, but some of the metrics that Google looks at in determining, number one, if they're going to show you at all in their search results, and number 2. Right behind number 1 is in what position are they going to show you. Again, this is position 1, position 2, position 3, all the way down through 10. And again, some of these can be condensed. They can be less than 10, depending on how many spaces these people actually take up. So again, it's one of the things I look at if you're building a website, if you're advertising on Facebook, a lot of these numbers when you start off are going to be zero because you're just starting off with anything that you do, except for, again, Facebook advertising, you're running ads. But even that, you have to dial it in over time to get the conversions up, and that can get really expensive over time if that's all that you're doing. So and again, I'm going to talk in a minute about all the different avenues that you could potentially look at. But again, it takes time. And again, I can see what this company is ranking for for other keywords. This is the keyword here they're ranking for. I can see the strengths and weaknesses of their overall website. I can see their backlinks. Backlinks is another thing we'll talk about another time. But I can see exactly what backlinks they have, not only how many do they have, what type of links do they have, but how strong they are. And that's a big thing. It's not just how many you have, but it's how strong they are. Because you could have 200,000 backlinks, but if they're not strong, which most companies that have a lot, most of them are not very strong, that's hurting them more than it's helping them. So let me move out of this and show you why this all matters, again, for this particular result, because it all comes down to bottom line dollars. If you're putting out the effort and you're not getting the sales, then who cares whether you're doing any or all of this or not? So let me move on. So I'm a numbers guy, and being in sales, I'm sure you're a numbers guy too. I was in sales for many, many years. I started out many years ago selling technology products for very large international global companies, multi-billion-dollar companies, and moved up to major accounts, national accounts, international accounts, sales management, executive management. I know sales very, very well. I've never sold cars, but again, sales is sales when it comes down to it. It's building relationships, whatever. I won't go into sales now. That's another time if you're interested. But in any case, this is for one keyword. If your property is showing up, whether it's again social media marketing or if it's a website or anything else that you're doing online, if you're showing up for just an average search volume, monthly search volume of 10,000 searches per month, and again, a lot of those that we looked at are a lot higher than that, and you're in position 1, you're going to get about a third of those clicks to your website, which is about that many. And now if 1 out of 100 people actually become a customer, and again, this number goes up quite a bit higher. You can get to 2, 3, 4, 5% conversions, and even higher if you're effectively targeting the specific keywords. So what I'm talking about is, well, let me go through this first and I'll come back to it. So you're getting about 31 customers out of that average searches if you're getting, and again, you can play around with these numbers. If you would have cut this in half or even smaller, whatever, you can do that. And again, I don't know what your average profit per sale is. Maybe it's higher than that. Maybe I doubt that it's lower, but it could be. Again, depending on what you're actually selling. But again, it would be this many bottom line dollars in new customer acquisition per month. And again, you can see these numbers go apart. Now, where these come from, I didn't make this stuff up. Moz.com is an industry analyst in terms of everything that's happening online. This shows click-through rates. If you're in this position, you can count on an average of this many clicks. Now, these numbers actually go up higher. You get more conversions. Percentages will go up higher when it's a more specific search. So a generic search would be cars. I mean, who knows? Maybe they're looking to buy something. Maybe it's some 12-year-old kid in his mom's basement in Des Moines, Iowa, looking for cool pictures of cars. That's just very generic. So in that case, they go down from here. But if it's a specific search like, BMW cars for sale, or even near me or whatever, that's a much more specific search. Or even if it's a model number, much more specific. So then these numbers go up. So these are averages, right? You can be really safe looking at these as averages. And so this is what I want you to pay attention to, is about over half of all people will not click past the top 3 positions because they trust Google very, very much that these are the best results for their search. And about 70% of people will not go position 5. And about 9 out of 10 will not go position to page 2. And again, think about your own searches. You put a lot of trust, especially if it's a specific search. If it's a generic search, you'll be more likely to go to page 2 because you're not going to find exactly what you're looking for if it's a very, like cars. So again, you can do paid advertisements on Google or anything else. It's something else we can talk about. But you're going to get less of those searches because most people, again, they put a lot of trust in showing up in organic position 1 through 5. Somewhere between 20 and 30%, depending, again, there's different variables, but a lot less people paid on paid advertisements than anything else. So let me pause. So I'm not going to go through this now. We can talk about it another time. But again, if you're just looking at social media channels, you're going to want to establish. And I'm assuming you have a personal Facebook page, but you're going to want to do a business page, which is simple to do. I've built many of them. And you're also going to want to have other links like Twitter and LinkedIn, if at all possible, if you've got the time and money to be able to do this. Facebook, Twitter to LinkedIn. Instagram is another one that has some. These are very, very strong sites. So when Google sees that you have business pages, business links on these properties like this, either just alone or linking back to a simple website, again, they give you a lot more weight, a lot more merit, and they put a lot more value in terms of whether or not they want to rank you. You can do all kinds of things like automated posting software, and again, a lot of this stuff, some of this will apply more directly to you than others. And again, we can talk about it at another time. So again, forgive me for speaking quickly, but I was trying to keep this very, very short, and I was covering a lot of ground. But again, when you're looking at stuff like this is where you have to start off. And again, typically, it takes me a few days to kind of sort through all of these kinds of properties to actually see not only who's showing up, but again, with you starting out, where's going to be some of the low-hanging fruit? What are some of these keyword phrases we could be targeting that are going to get you, more results sooner rather than later? Because when it comes to digital marketing, nothing happens overnight. So if I started putting this stuff together, you're not going to start getting calls tomorrow, because there's certain things we have to do. And again, if somebody tells you that, oh yeah, man, I'm going to get you business right away tomorrow, first few days, then be really leery, because unfortunately there's a lot of people who make those kinds of false promises, empty hopes and false promises, just to get your business, but it's not realistic. It used to be that way many years ago when Google and all the internet just first started out, but not anymore. And again, you can do paid advertisements on Google to get things to show up right away, or on Facebook or different social media pages. But again, that tends to be more expensive, but that can be a short-term solution, along with a lot of the other things we can talk about moving forward. So I hope this made sense. More than likely, a lot of it didn't, which is very typical, because this is very specific knowledge when you get down to the brass tacks of the metrics of the strengths and weaknesses of these sites, these online properties versus yours. And so there's a process you have to go to establish that. So thanks for watching. I'm sure I created some questions. I'll be looking forward to our call later this afternoon, and we'll go from there. Thanks. Bye-bye.